Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today we're going to be talking about what the Milwaukee Bucks offseason plan should be after being eliminated last night, losing in 5 games to the Indiana Pacers. This is going to be a tough offseason for the Bucks as they have big free agents like Bobby Portis and also Brook Lopez is a free agent. There's the big Giannis decision. What happens with Giannis Antetokounmpo? Damian Lillard is injured. He'll be out most of the season next year with his torn Achilles. So what happens is the question now. That will be a big thing. Does Dame miss the entire season next year? The one thing I look at was, torn Achilles can take a full year. Maybe Dame wouldn't be ready until the playoffs of next year if Milwaukee is in the playoffs next year. One thing I would say is, and this is a different injury. This is a torn ACL. Like Kyrie got hurt like February and March, and they're talking about him coming back at the December, January area for the Dallas Mavericks. So with Lillard's injury, he gets injured in April. Could you try to target a middle of March return for Damian Lillard if he attacks rehab potentially? Could he return? That would be about a year. It'd be 11-month return. So I don't know. I think it's probably more unlikely that Damian Lillard plays next year. But I think it's definitely it's not. I don't think it's impossible that Damian Lillard could return to the end of next season. But will there be a season that's worth to return to? Because if there is no Giannis in Milwaukee next year, let's say Giannis gets traded, they might not be in the playoffs or playing. Who knows? Who knows with this Milwaukee team next year? But I'm gonna kind of go over what I think. I think what needs to happen with this Milwaukee Bucks team this year, what needs to happen 100% for this Milwaukee Bucks team this year is they need to keep Giannis. They need to retain him. They need to do whatever will make Giannis Antetokounmpo happy. Now, I can't really predict what that will be. I'm sure that's probably re-signing Bobby Portis. That's probably re-signing a guy like Gary Trent Jr., who was a great addition for this Milwaukee Bucks team as a free agent. Maybe re-signing Taurean Prince. Those were guys that played good basketball for Milwaukee during the regular season. So re-signing guys like that could be on Giannis's wish list, potentially, of things that would help him want to stay in Milwaukee. Maybe firing Doc Rivers and replacing him is something that Giannis would like. I don't know what Giannis would like. I am not Giannis. But at the same time, I know if they do decide to trade him, what they could potentially do and what I think maybe could be best for this Milwaukee Bucks team if they do trade him. So here's the thing I would start off with. You got to re-sign Bobby Portis Jr. I think that's a bit. If Giannis gets traded, re-signing Bobby Portis is a must for this Milwaukee team, in my opinion. Then you've also got other guys like Kevin Porter. You got Kevin Porter Jr., I think, is a guy you need to re-sign. Gary Trent Jr., I thought, shot the ball really well for Milwaukee this year. Rich Paul is his agent. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'm already thinking about the Lakers with Gary Trent Jr. Rich Paul's his agent. Lakers could like some shooting potentially. That's a guy I could see the Lakers signing the offseason. But I think if you're Milwaukee, you want to re-sign Gary Trent Jr. But Brook Lopez, I don't know. You might want to let him walk. And in the world that Giannis does return, I would re-sign Brook Lopez to a cheap, affordable deal. But in the world that Giannis is gone, I would actually let Brook Lopez go, because here's the best trade I feel like if Giannis potentially if you're going to trade Giannis, you can go out there and get, is potentially try to go get Bam Adebayo. Miami's going to have interest in trading for Giannis. And if they do, ask for Bam Adebayo and draft picks. Look, if Luka's worth AD, Max Christie, and a first-round pick, which is a really valuable first-round pick, and that's looked as a bad trade, what is Giannis Antetokounmpo worth? Because if Miami's going to try to trade for Giannis, then, Milwaukee should be able to get one of Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo if Dallas gets Anthony Davis at first and Christie for Luka, and that's not seen as enough. I think Giannis is a better player than Luka. I think Luka's younger than Giannis, which makes him more valuable, but I think Giannis is more valuable to a team than Luka is to me, with Giannis being more talented defensively. So that's one thing I would say. They're both great players. It's nothing against Luka. It's just a compliment to Giannis. And but what can you get for him? And that's where I look at it. Maybe I think you send away Giannis Antetokounmpo and AJ Green together to Miami and get back Bam Adebayo, Jaime Jaquez Jr., who I think is a young player with solid potential. Nikola Jovic, another solid player with potential to average almost 11 points per game this year. And 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. You get good draft capital. You get an all-star who's a great defensive player, a great shot blocker. You also get 2 other young players with Jovic and Jaquez. And I think that's a solid package to get back for Giannis. That's going to be one of the best packages they're going to get. And, like Brooklyn is a team that I know is thinking about talking with Milwaukee about a trade. What's Brooklyn going to give you? Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson. I mean, those 2 guys are great. And don't get me wrong, but, it's not as good as getting Bam 2 firsts and 3 seconds and young players like Jaquez and Jovic. I think would Miami be willing to do that? Because Bam is great, but Giannis is better for sure. And if you want Giannis really badly, that could be a way to get that done. But, what would this team look like after that deal? If you re-sign Portis, if you re-sign KPJ, you re-sign Prince and Gary Trent Jr. potentially, and then you bring in Bam, Jaquez, and as well as Jovic in the trade. The lineup, with Dame being injured most of the year, it'd be KPJ, Gary Trent Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Bam Adebayo in the starting lineup. And then off the bench, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, and Taurean Prince. And there would be some other players on that Milwaukee bench. So I think it tells you that if that can be potentially one of the best packages for Giannis Antetokounmpo, with Damian Lillard being injured, it might be best to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo on this roster. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think the Milwaukee Bucks need to do in the offseason, and hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.